What you see here is the login page for RPI's yoga software. I'm going to log in with an account we have set up. This authenticates off of our internal Perceptive Content environment. And when I log in, you will see a short loading screen. Yoga does cache a few things so that the user experience is very speedy and responsive once the user is in. And you'll see that the first thing that loads up is the Yoga dashboard. This is a new feature that we're very excited about. This is giving us a quick snapshot look at our workflow. And instead of going through integration server to fetch data, this is actually going directly to the database so that we can formulate this data however we want. To walk through what is on the screen here, there's a list of workflow queues. This is actually looking for documents in every queue inside of a whole process. It only lists queues, though, that have documents inside of them. So there are a number of empty queues that don't have any documents. Next, it lists the documents in the queue, the total number of documents, then the oldest document by created date. Then it provides a breakdown of those documents by day groupings, 0 to 5, 6 to 10, and 10 plus days, and then the oldest invoice date in that queue. This is an accounts payable workflow. However, there are other columns we can add. Virtually any piece of metadata on the document could be added. For example, we have built this dashboard to also include a total of invoice amounts in the queue in the past. Next, the next great feature of this dashboard is that we can actually click on the queue detail or the number of day breakdowns to get that information. So if I look at my AP detail entry queue and I click that, it actually will pop up another window showing the information, on the document detail information on the queue. Next, I can go to the day breakdowns here and click on that. Same thing for AP detail entry, and see just those documents. When it gets to a large number of documents in a queue, this is going to be very beneficial to be able to quickly see a snapshot of just the information you want to see, generally the oldest documents in a queue. And this is not limited to any sort of view amount. Views typically limited to 500, maybe as much as 2,000 documents. This will actually pull back every single thing in a queue. Another great feature is that I can actually use the button up here, Display All Data, to see every single row of data that is going into this table. So if I click Display All Data, it will actually show me, and this is paginated, which I can increase this, but 10 pages or 10 results per page show me every single thing inside of workflow that's configured to show in this dashboard. And even better, let's say I want to actually search through all of this data. It says there's 44 entries. So I've actually got a column set up over here to indicate who the current approver is if the document's in approvals. So let's say I want to see everything that's in the with the current approver, AP approver 1, which is an approval count I have set up. I start typing and it quickly filters down all the results to show me this document row here, and I can see that I have a couple different approvals pending for these two specific invoices. So, and then if I back out that search criteria, I can actually export all of this data to CSV, which then allows me to open that inside of Excel and filter and pivot that data to my heart's content. We don't want to try and recreate every Excel feature, so we just give you the ability to take this data and throw it into Excel. Now this is just one example of how the Yoga dashboard can be used. However, there's a lot of different information and columns that we can add to this and other data that we can report on. So really this can be catered to your environment and your specific use case. The next feature I'd like to show you are our views and filters. Now I'm going to expand this views button over here, and you'll see that we have the accounts payable view that was built inside of Perceptive Content listed here. In this view, we'll pull back all of the invoices available up to the maximum number of entries, just like inside of the thick client. However, now inside of Yoga we can build filters to allow us to quickly search through all of this data. I have a filter saved here called Computer World Invoices. This is searching by a vendor ID, as if I needed to quickly recall these documents often in my day-to-day. So I click on that and hit go, and it retrieves all of the documents that match that information. In this case, it's this vendor ID field, which is field 2, is equal to 1003. And from here, of course, I can review the information on the line items. I see that one of these documents is in task pending, which I know to be inside of approvals. So I can actually open the document and review the information. I can also save or update these filters. So let's say I wanted to change this to be for a custom property, vendor name. And I wanted it to be equal to Comtron, another vendor that I have to look for frequently. I hit go to make sure that my filter works, and look at that, it retrieves 6 entries, another series of invoices at different stages inside of my accounts payable process. I'm going to go ahead and save this as a new filter, so I save it as Comtron invoices. I create it, and it is now referenceable over here on the left underneath accounts payable. The final thing I'd like to demonstrate is the capability to perform your workflow actions inside of Yoga. I'm going to close up views here and go over to my workflows, expand accounts payable, and the first thing I'm going to do is check my header entry queue for any data that needs to be entered. First thing I'm going to do is open up this Comtron invoice here. You'll see I have my thumbnails over on the left side, my image here in the middle, and then my properties here on the right, including my custom properties at the bottom. I have another tab here for my forms, and of course we have our APE form which loads up. I can perform all my data entry here. Now this one's already filled out as if it had gone through perhaps my my OCR. But I can of course enter additional comments or make any changes that I might need to. I can click validate, which will perform validation checks already built into the form. For example, if I don't have an invoice amount, it will tell me that that's missing. And after I validated everything, I will choose to save and route. So this will actually route the document to the next step in the workflow process. Okay. Then you'll see that it has disappeared. Then maybe I want to hop over to my AP exception queue to do to review an exception document. I'm going to open up this Striker Spine invoice, and I'm going to review the properties on it. I know that the wrong PO number is listed here on this document as I use my magnifying glass, so I'm actually going to leave a sticky note. And I might leave a note that says PO number is invalid. Please provide correct PO number. I'm going to add that, and I'm going to actually move that sticky note up there. And I'm actually going to send this over to our purchasing department so that they can provide the correct PO number. I'm going to click Save and Route and send to purchasing. So this has been a quick demonstration of the major functionality of Yoga. I'm not going to get to everything. You can also approve or reject tasks, perform approvals, you can export documents. There's a lot of other functionality here. If there's any specific functionality you are looking to see a demonstration of, please reach out and we'll set up a demonstration for you. Thank you.